Unfortunately, people go and learn all these things, telling them what to do and how to present themselves. But if you're going to be told how to present yourself and it's not who you naturally are, how are you going to see? Unfortunately, what people don't get is that we cannot cheat life, we cannot cheat nature. I just got out of a meeting where the last thing that person said was that people are living lives that they shouldn't be living. Some people are doctors, but they should be engineers. Some people are engineers, but they should be something else. And I smiled when he said that, because spiritual facts are spiritual facts. Spiritual laws are spiritual laws, and we cannot circumvent them. It reminds me of an episode where I have said to you that a lot of people are living relationships that they shouldn't, because they have created relationships that shouldn't even exist in the first place. You struggle in your relationships because you create relationships without being present. The person you present when the relationship is being created is the person that you chose to put forward. And then by the time the real you appears, it all begins to go downwards. And that is because you have not accepted yourself. And if you're not accepting yourself, you really cannot expect another person to accept you. And what happens is what they ordered is not what they got. And only people who are ever going to experience true love are the people who are able and willing to show up as their true selves. This is not what they ordered, and you can't blame them. You showed up as this, and you're making demands that this person wants. Let's break it down further. Let me break it down further. Genesis 20. You're a circle trying to fit into a square box. The thing is, you presented yourself this way. And the truth is, what I said in that video, and I said in that video that those relationships, even if they last 20 years, 30 years, they are still going to crumble. And if they don't crumble, the people that are living those relationships are living in misery. Or one party is living in misery and the other is having a ball. But those relationships shouldn't even have been created in the first place. And if those people are sincere to themselves, they will both know that this relationship is not authentic. And that's why I want to encourage us to look. The truth, the bottom line is that only people who are true to themselves can ever experience true love, even if a relationship lasts 50 years. If it's not true love, it's not true love. You are just coexisting. And I know that some people have settled into that, and that's fine. So if you're settling for that, that is fine. But do not get it in your head that people cannot find true love. The reason why true love is hard is because people cannot be true. Many people cannot be true to themselves. And of course, if you're not true to yourself, it means that the person you're presenting to the other person is not who. They're not able to gauge if they are the person who can really be with the true you. Or you are managing that relationship while having to not be truly who you are. There is no getting around it. So you may have something, but it is not going to be true love if you are not both showing up truly as who you authentic. So the only people who are ever going to be able to experience true love are those people who are showing up truly, authentically. Unfortunately, people go and learn all these things, telling them what to do and how to present themselves. But if you're going to be told how to present yourself and it's not who you naturally are, how are you going to? But you see, the thing is, you cannot sow orange seeds and get beans. Because when you're not showing up as you are, it means that you're also accepting things that you don't want. You can't voice out that you're not happy with this because you're so busy trying to fit into who that person wants or who you believe that they want. So now they cannot know exactly who you are, so that they can give you exactly what you want. And if they're not able to give you what you want, then they move. And then I hear people say, oh, but I communicate this. I communicated who I want. I communicated my boundaries. The other time I heard it, a lady told me that she communicated her boundary. But the thing is, a lot of people I think that a lot of people misunderstand what communication is. So many people think that communication is saying something and letting it be heard. But communication to be complete, that is only one part of it. For communication to be complete, it is saying something and letting it not only be heard, but understood and believed that you mean what you're saying. Because sometimes you can say something in a way where the person cannot even believe that you mean what you're saying. Therefore, even if you mean it in your heart, you haven't communicated this fact to that person because you haven't given it to them in a believable way. So you've got to pass your message across and the other person understands it fully. There was a lady who told me the other day that she declared her boundaries, and it's been 20 years now. And despite her having declared her boundaries in the beginning and consistently been saying what her boundaries are, her boundaries get completely neglected and dismissed and ignored by her partner. But you see, the thing is, you don't communicate your boundaries by telling people what your boundaries are and then ending it there or repeating it even. What you have to do is that you have to show by yourself that this is actually a boundary for me and I cannot have it be crossed. And what it means is that because you cannot control what other people do, if someone crosses your boundaries, you're going to either remove yourself or remove them. You're not going to let them sit in there and then just keep telling them, you're crossing my boundaries, you're crossing my boundaries, I don't like it. Because how are you showing that you don't like it? Because what you're accepting is what you're choosing. So in order to show that you truly mean it when you say that you don't like something, you have to demonstrate it. So communication includes demonstrating. And if you're not able to demonstrate it, for them to absorb it, then the message isn't sent. So you have to do all that you do, all that you can do to make sure that the message is sent very clearly so that there will be no misconceptions. You make it unequivocal so that your message is delivered and received very clearly with no misconceptions. And if you leave anything to chance, then it can be ignored. And that is when we can say that you haven't communicated, even though you think you have. So even though you think you've communicated, the fact is that even if you say it 100 times, you have not communicated your boundaries. This is an end of year gift for you. There's no one who actually applies them that doesn't see that they get the most meaningful relationships, and it's a complete goodbye to struggle love. If you're going to be told how to present yourself and it's not who you naturally are, how are you going to? A lot of people are living relationships that they shouldn't because they have created relationships that shouldn't even exist in the first place.